Good day, my name is Jessica Elvit and I am here to present to you the radian and degree measure. Okay, now let's start. Today we will learn the following topics: terminology used to describe angles, degree measure of an angle, radian measure of an angle, and converting between radian and degree measure. Let's start. Let's start with the terminologies used in angles. Okay, angles, trigonometry. Basically, we are dealing with triangles. Now, trigonometry, that is the measurement or the study of the measurement of triangles. Okay, now, we have here a picture showing the angle measure, the form, the structure of an angle. This side is the initial side and the upper side is the terminal side. Here we have the vertex and our reference angle is here. Now, another one, we have the standard position. Now, when we say standard position, the initial side of an angle in standard position is always located on the positive x-axis. So we have here a Cartesian plane. This side is the initial side on the positive x-axis, and our terminal side is anywhere on the Cartesian plane, of course. Okay. Now, let's have this one, the positive and negative angles. Now, when we say positive angles, those are angles having the rotation of counterclockwise. The other one, negative angles, those are angles having the rotation or the direction of the reference angle clockwise. When sketching angles, always use an arrow to show the direction. Okay. If the direction is counterclockwise, we assume that that is a positive angle. But if the direction of the arrow is like clockwise, therefore we conclude that the angle is a negative angle. Okay. Now, in measuring angles, the measure of an angle is determined by the amount of rotation from the initial side to the terminal side. There are two common ways to measure angles: in degrees and in radians. We'll start with degrees. Degrees is denoted by the symbol 2. 1 degree is equivalent to 1 rotation of 1/360 of 1 revolution. Okay. We can also have this one, classifying angles. Angles are often classified according to the quadrant in which their terminal side lie. Okay, for example, we have this one. Example number 1. We are to name the quadrant in which each angle lies. We have the following quadrant: 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, first, we have 50 degrees. Now, where does 50 degrees lie? Your answer is? Very good. First quadrant. Let's have another one. 208 degrees. In which quadrant does this lie? Yes, you are correct. On third quadrant. And the last one, we have the negative 75 degrees. Now, going back to what we learned a while ago, negative angles are angles having the direction clockwise. So where or in which quadrant does this lie? Yes, you are correct. On fourth quadrant. Now let's have radian measure. Radian measure, this is the second way to measure angles. Now, 1 radian is equivalent to 180 over pi degrees, and that is approximately equal to 57.3 degrees. Okay, now, the radian measure is the other way of measuring angles. It is much convenient because major measurements of a circle, like circumference, area, are involving pi. Radians result in easier numbers to use. Radian measure. 2 pi radians corresponds to 360 degrees, and that is approximately equal to 6.28. Pi radians corresponds to 180 degrees. That is approximately equal to 3.14. Pi over 2 radians corresponds to 90 degrees, and that is approximately equal to 1.57. Conversions between degrees and radians. So how are we going to convert degrees to radians and radians to degrees? Well, this is how we do it. Okay, number 1, let's have conversion between degrees and radians. To convert degrees to radians, simply multiply it, the degrees, by pi over 180 degrees. Another one, to convert radians to degrees, multiply radians by 180 degrees over pi. Yes. Now, let's have some examples. Example number 1, converting between degrees and radians. Convert each measure of degrees to radians or from radians to degrees. Let's have letter A, negative 60 degrees. Now, since the given is in degrees form, we are to convert this one into, yes, radians. So how to do it? We have negative 60 degrees times pi radians over 180 degrees is equal to negative pi over 3 radians. For letter B, we have 2 pi over 3 radians. Now, since the given is in radians form, our task is to convert this one into degrees. So how to do it? You are to multiply it by 180 degrees over pi radians. So we have 2 pi over 3 radians times 180 degrees over pi radians, that is equivalent to 120 degrees. Okay, check it out. It's your time to shine. Please try this one. Convert each measure from degrees to radians or from radians to degrees. Now, please try letter A, 80 degrees. You have 5 seconds to answer that one. Okay, let's check. Okay, you have 80 degrees. Now, 80 degrees is in degrees form. Now, your task is to transform this one or to convert this one into radians form. Now, remember, in converting degrees into radians, you are to multiply it by pi radians over 180 degrees. So, the answer is 4 pi over 9 radians. You're correct. Now, let's have letter B, 2 pi over 9 radians. You have 5 seconds to answer this. Okay, time's up. Let's check. Now, 2 pi over 9 radians is in radians form. So our task is to convert this one into degrees form. So how to do it? We are to multiply it by 180 degrees over pi radians. Therefore, the answer is 40 degrees. Yes, you are correct. Now, I hope you learned something from my lesson for today, and see you next time. This is me, Jess Alvin, signing out. Bye-bye, and thank you so much. Please subscribe!